your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
The hiring process used to be the death of me, but with Upwork, the hiring process is fast and flexible. Behold all that talent. This is how we work now.
As a musician living with diabetes, fingersticks can be a real challenge. That's why I use the Freestyle Libre 2 system. With a 1-second scan, I know my glucose numbers without fingersticks.
Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
Investing in gold doesn't have to be complicated. I'm Colin Plume, the CEO of Noble Gold Investments, and I want to take the time to show you how investing in a gold IRA can help you hedge your bets against inflation and other economic concerns on the horizon. Visit Noble Gold Investments and get our free gold investment guide on buying gold the right way. And make sure you're investing with the right company. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
Radio silence from the mass media? From arson attacks on churches to assaults on America's power plants, Tucker's sounding off on the lack of coverage tonight.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? The most college football you can get without cable. With all the entertainment you love, for the price that cable can't beat. Try free at FuboTV.com.
This bakery needs new equipment fast to keep up with demand. So they're going to OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and, if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
High blood pressure is known as the silent killer, and right now it's more dangerous than ever before. But did you know you can lower the risk naturally? Introducing Respirit, the first ever FDA-cleared medical device, clinically proven to lower blood pressure.
The results I got from using Respirit were astounding. The blood pressure this morning was 110/79.
Respirit's patented technology continuously monitors and guides your breathing into the therapeutic zone, causing the muscles surrounding the small blood vessels to relax so blood flows more freely and blood pressure is reduced. Multiple clinical trials report 82% of Respirit users reduced high blood pressure. The trials demonstrated Respirit is so safe and effective that it was cleared to be sold without a prescription. We are so sure that Respirit will work for you, we guarantee it. If you don't lower your blood pressure in 60 days, you'll get your money back.
It's the best investment I've ever made in my life.
To watch a product demonstration or to buy, go to Respirit.com now.
All right, at Disney, they're trying to get rid of the whole remote work trend by demanding, and this is Bob Iger's orders, the guy who runs the place, that by March 1st, all workers at the Magic Kingdom and elsewhere in all capacities better be in the office 4 days a week. With us now is Kat Tint, the co-host of Gutfeld. We've got Samantha Edis with us, workplace trends expert, and economist Steve Moore. Kat, began with you, Ed, with you on this notion of, all right, it's over. You got to come back to work at least 4 out of 5 days, and soon, beginning March 1st. What do you think?
Well, I do understand how it could be difficult for some people who have been working from home for years at this point to not want to go back. But eventually, ultimately, it's up to those people. When it comes to a company where there's a lot of creative work being done, from experience, I know that there really is no substitute for meeting in person and being able to share ideas in that way.
Well, Samantha, apparently it's not up to those people. He's saying now, it's up to me, and I've had enough of this. I'm going too far here to make the point. It's 4 days or bust. And I'm just wondering, because other companies have already gone this route, a lot of investment banks and all are saying that they want that to be the case. 5 days, in fact, in their case. What do you think of this trend back in the office?
Well, Bob Iger is running a very different company than he was when he left in 2020, right? He came back to an entirely new world. It's like the Wild West of the workforce. And I think mandating that people go back 4 days a week is a little bit out of touch with all the changes that have happened in the last couple of years. Workers simply are not adjusting. They don't want to go back. They want flexibility, and they want control over their work lives. So the repercussions are going to be many when you have a CEO coming in and mandating something like that in such a severe way. There's a lot of middle ground, and he is not going there.
It's been a while now since the worst throes of COVID, Steve, so you could say this is about time. It's not his way of saying It's 5 days or bust. It's 4 out of the 5 days. You can decide, I guess, what fifth day you want to do and how you want to do it. What do you think?
Well, Neil, don't tell anybody, but I'm doing this interview from home, so I'm not in the office right now.
If we could kill his mic, please, guys, that'd be fine. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
So here's my attitude about this. And by the way, I did my homework for this interview, Neil. I actually looked at some of the economic literature out there about what it's finding in terms of people working at home remotely versus working in the office. And quite frankly, the evidence is mixed, Neil. Some of the studies show that people can be very productive working at home, and other studies show that it makes a big difference in a positive way when they get back in the office. So what do I conclude from that, Neil? It's the prerogative not of the employee but of the employer. I mean, I like what I think it was Facebook said to their employees 6 months ago. You know, we're not going to make you come back into the office, but if you don't come back into the office, we're not going to give you a paycheck. So it's that simple. So I think the employers should decide this, and they should take all factors into account. But certainly, COVID is over, and there's no reason that, for health reasons, people shouldn't be showing up at the office.
Yeah, I do like what Kat had to say, though, that this is different in this kind of creative business where they do need to bounce ideas off each other, you know, for maybe that is the kind of distinction you draw with Disney. I just don't know. But guys, while I have you, there's another interesting story that caught my attention, and it concerns a Mumbai-based company called Dream11, which is now paying up to 100,000 rupees, or about $1,200, a penalty if you call a coworker who's on vacation and bug him about work issues. You have to pay $1,200. And there's all hell to pay. You know, Kat, the gist of this is when people take a vacation, according to this 36-year-old CEO who runs the company, it's vacation. And it is not a time to be bugged by fellow employees at work or anyone else. What do you think of this policy?
Well, I would have made some money off of this, but at the same time, I really think that you also, when you're on vacation, don't really have to answer or look at your email. So I'm not sure why it would be necessary.
All right, Samantha, what do you think of that? A lot of people who don't do that, you know, then they feel the friction when they return. Why didn't you answer us? We had an emergency at work. Here's a guy who's saying, no such emergency, and even if there is one, we're not going to bug you, and I'm going to fine anyone who does. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is a ridiculous policy, frankly, because if you're asking for flexibility on one hand, right, you want flexibility with when you go into work, how you work, then you can't also have it both ways and say, but don't ever talk to me when I'm not working, because the whole point is that the workforce has completely changed. And so if workers are demanding flexibility, they also have to be flexible enough to answer an email on the weekends or on their vacations.
You know, another thing, too, Steve, you could look at this as being maybe a sign of the times, you know, with all these devices and gadgets and everything we have. You just have to expect that that's going to happen. What was interesting is a footnote on this company. He allows mandatory vacation of 1 week a year. And I'm thinking to myself, OK, that's fine. That would be precious. But if you have a little bit more than that, maybe it's a little less onerous. What do you think?
Well, we also live in an era. Oh, sorry about that. I was just going to say we live in an era now where, I mean, now there's unlimited vacation policies. I mean, the whole world has changed, and so
well, if it's just 1 week,
if
it's 1 week, then maybe this
that's
guy,
extreme.
Well, but if it's 1 week, and it's not, I don't know the full details here, but that is routine. But I'm thinking, Steve, then he might have a point, right?
Well, I was going to say, I wish I had a dollar for every time you called me when I'm on vacation, Neil.
But so, you never answered me. Remember, you never answered. You were on a beach. And you just, it's Cavuto. Hang up. No.
Yeah, but this is reflective, though, of this kind of new attitude of young workers. And I hear this all the time from employers, that they kind of have these woke attitudes about, you know, they're doing their employer a favor for showing up to work. And that's one of the reasons I think that we're seeing an alarming decline in productivity of workers, that there's an attitude of like, where's the transgender bathrooms and all of these other things that are not really related. I think that
pendulum's swinging back. I don't think in this environment,
I hope so.
Right? Kat, if that's right, then a lot of workers aren't going to be able, you know, to necessarily call the shots anymore, or as many shots. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that if it's a great job, then there would be other people who would want that job. There are options for remote work, but there's a lot of places where you got to go in, and there'll be plenty of people who are also willing to do that.
Well, you're in here either live or remote or coming from the cage somewhere like Steve, but it works. Somehow it works. Guys, thank you very, very much. We called Mark Meredith earlier in El Paso, Texas, to give us an update what's happening there ahead of hearing from the leaders of the 3 countries that are going to decide our border. He answered the phone, answered the call, and he's there right now. Mark.
Neil, no remote work for me today. You're right. It's good to be with you between the U.S. and Mexico border here. There are 8 senators down here this week getting a sense of what's going on the ground because they want to pitch a comprehensive immigration reform package. Neil, we've been here before. Is this time going to be any different? We're going to take a look at that part of the story coming up after the break. Stay with us. You're watching Your World.
Walk with me